My name is Warren Powers. I'm a national sales director in Primerica, guys. Been in the company now for over 20 years, and I've never been so excited as I am right now about presenting the opportunity and having people plug in and from all different locations. And so what I want to talk to you about real now as we kick off tonight is about change. This is about change. And we're in an environment right now where there's so many things happening right now. People are nervous. People are uncertain. There's so many uncertainties. And this coronavirus, it seems like it's just picking up momentum, and more people are running to the grocery stores. People are panicking and things are happening. And we're taking some necessary precautions. So some of these things is some of the things that we need to do, right? And that's the reason why I'm doing this broadcast tonight, because we can't be in a group where there's more than 10 people in the room. But I'm here to tell you, for every crisis, there's an opportunity. For every crisis, there's an opportunity. And what you got to do right now, guys, I want to talk to you about opportunity. I want to talk to you about change. See, in the midst of crisis, that's where change is birthed. So you got to make sure that you're making changes right now. And in the environment that we're in right now, people are getting laid off. I mean, people are scared than ever before. Companies are shutting down. Employees are working from home. And so a lot of people are out of work right now. Supermarkets, the shelves are being emptied out right now. Okay? And I'm talking about all these things that's happening, and people weren't prepared. No one was prepared for it, right? And so I want to talk to you about a couple of things tonight about making change. I want to talk to you about how you can gain ground in times where everything else seems to be going haywire, seems to be going crazy, right? And you might say, well, how does this fit into Primerica? How does it fit into what it is that we do? Well, I know a little bit about change. See, a lot of us on this, the truth be told, a lot of us who are watching tonight, we didn't experience some changes in our life. We've been through hard times before. We've been through challenges in our lives before. Let me give you a little background of myself as I related into some of the things you do. So here's what I want you to get off this broadcast tonight. Number one, I want you to get out of it is that, hey, what changes do you need to make to be able to thrive during these economical times that we're in? That's one. I want you to understand how to take advantage of the market, because the market is down right now. I want you also to understand, some people say, well, I can't take advantage of the market because I don't make enough money to take advantage of the market. I want to talk to you about how you can make money, and how you can grow, and how during these economical times, how you can grow your income and cash flow so that you can invest, so that you can prepare when things like this come up. You don't have to panic. I want to talk about the disease that's been crippling our community way before the virus, the coronavirus. I'm talking about poverty. I'm talking about lack. I'm talking about those things that hold people down. I'm talking about financial illiteracy. Those things have been crippling our community for a long time, way longer than we've been hit by the coronavirus. I grew up in the inner city of Baltimore. When you go through Baltimore City right now, you see a lot of things that's decaying. You see a lot of communities that's down. You see a lot of poverty. You see a lot of different things going on. And I'm sure wherever you're from, there's some situations and some places that you've been through that you probably experienced some of the same things. And a lot of that's happening because of what I'm going to talk to you about tonight. And listen, I don't have the solution for the coronavirus, but I do have a solution that can fix that virus of poverty, the virus of uncertainty, the virus of not having financial freedom, the virus of living in one of the wealthiest countries in the world, but not having the opportunity to experience any of it, okay? And not being able to give your kids the best and be able to set up for retirement and live your life on the terms that God has created for you to have. Okay, so let's talk about those things. Let's talk about how we can combat that. But before I get into it, let me just give you a quick blast from my past. As you can see right now, guys, like I said, my name is Warren Powers. I've been in the business over 20 years with my lovely wife, Jada, and I. And prior to me getting involved with this company, I used to be a player in the NFL, played with the Denver Broncos. Okay, I grew up in the inner city of Baltimore. My mom made about $11,000 a year, so I know what poverty feels like. I know what it tastes like. I know how it feels not to have what you need, but to need it, but not have it. I know all those things. I know how I feel to struggle. I know how I feel all those things. So when I was a kid growing up as a child, one of my goals was I wanted to make it to the NFL. I wanted to become a professional football player so I could buy my mom a house and retire from her job. See, one of the things I prayed for, I prayed that I would make a lot of money. But see, what I should have been praying for is now, because it doesn't matter how much money you make. There's a lot of people who thought they was getting ready to retire right now. But because of the stock market crashing and losing right now, they lost a lot of money. And the reason why they're going down like that, because we didn't know. We work for money. We try to accumulate money. But one of the things we don't understand is, what do I do? How do I keep my money? And that's what we do. That's how we help people out. So I made a lot of money through the NFL, became a second-round draft pick with the Denver Broncos. I signed a $1 million contract at 22 years old. And before I played 5 years in the NFL. And after my career came to an end, in 5 years, man, I went from making over $500,000 a year down to zero, right? Scary time. I can relate to how a lot of people feel right now, who's getting laid off, who's losing their jobs. I didn't have a job anymore. So I know how I feel to be making money and all of a sudden it's taken away from you. The things that you work for. And some of you people right here on listen to this call, some of you guys don't have a job, and some of you probably won't have a job in the next few months. But you got to have a feeling, I don't ever want this to happen to me again. I got to make some changes so that I don't ever feel so vulnerable. See, I feel vulnerable. You would think that if you played in the NFL and you made all this money, I played in the Super Bowl, I did all these things, guys, and all of a sudden here I am worried about how I'm going to take care of my lovely bride and how I'm going to take care of my newborn child. And so I'm back home in Baltimore trying to figure out what to do. And all of a sudden, guys, I tried different business opportunities, but I wasn't prepared for them. I didn't understand how to go in business. I didn't know it. So my wife and I, we came out. They said, well, if you go in business for yourself, find something that you love. Because if you love it, you never have to work. What if you could wake up every single day and go do something that you love? Wouldn't that be awesome? If you could just wake up every day and you went, whatever you did, that's what you love doing, okay? And so, guys, all I'm saying to you is that, so when I left out the NFL, okay, when I left out the NFL, guys, one of the things I needed to do was to make sure that I needed to figure out what am I going to do next, okay? And so I wanted to go in business for myself, but I didn't know exactly what kind of business to go into. And so what I decided to do was, I loved music at the time. I wanted to go into music business so I can go into music. And so I said, let me get into the music industry a little bit. And so I love football. I know my football career was over. So I never prepared for life after football. I never prepared for it. And so I went into the music industry. And when I went into the music industry right there, we heard a local group. We put $10,000 up. They said it was a hit. It sounded like a hit. Well, we did get hit. We lost $10,000 almost overnight going into that business. See, a lot of people out there right now, you want to make a change. A lot of people want to go in business for themselves so they don't ever feel vulnerable again. So you don't ever have to have something taken away from you. But we weren't prepared for it. So I put $10,000 into this business and I lost it almost overnight. And then the next thing someone told me, they said, Warren, so after I tried that business, my wife and I got another bright idea that we go open up a franchise. We're going to put $140,000 into a local franchise to buy a franchise. But I knew nothing about it, guys. And so the NFL investigated it for me. They looked into it, and they told me that, hey, you guys are going to lose all that money. That company's going to go bankrupt, and you're going to lose every single dime if you go into that business. And we were just about to sign the contract to go into it, but the only reason I didn't do it because my lawyer got stuck in the airport and didn't show up. So I would have lost $140,000. So at that point, I felt hopeless. I didn't know what to do. We were out of work. I didn't have a job. I had a newborn baby, and I really didn't know what to do. So what I decided to do right there, someone said, Warren, go get a job. And so I went out and got my resume done up professionally. I wanted to go out. I wanted to go work with inner city kids. Growing up in the inner city of Baltimore, I grew up in the 2200 block of West Baltimore Street, Bentlow and Baltimore Street. And one of the things I wanted to do was, I said, well, I want to go back and work with kids. So I got my resume done up professionally and I sent it out. And as I went out there with my resume, I sat in front of my first and my last quote-unquote job interview. As I sat in an interview, they said, Warren, the kids going to love you. They're going to look up to you, right? And you can work with these kids. But when I asked them how much would I start, they said we'll start you out right around 25. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. If you're used to making $25,000 or $30,000 a year, so I'm not knocking that. Like I said, I grew up in poverty. My mom made $11,000 a year and had to raise 6 kids by herself. But if you're ever wondering how, so as I sat there and they said 25,000, my first thought, because when I played in the NFL, I used to get a check every other week for $41,000, making $82,000 a month. I'm 20-something years old. So when they said 25,000, it didn't even register with me. When they said 25,000, I'm sitting there thinking, how often would I get paid the 25,000? See, I didn't think, I was thinking in my mind, that cannot be for the year. And they said, yeah, well, that's for the year, and that's before taxes. That's when I realized that I needed to make some changes. And some of you right now, that's probably where you are. When I sat there, and so that day, I left out of that interview that day. I went home. I was confused. I didn't understand what I needed to do, what was going to happen with the next step in my life. And that's when my wife, who told me, she said, call the NFL up. She said, call the NFL up, ask them what you want to do. What can they help you make the transition into the next phase of your life? And that's what they were supposed to do, our union. So I called them up and they told me about this company, Primerica. Now, when I first heard about this company, I did not want to make any changes. I was playing football and I asked them what it's about. They said financial services. They said, one, we teach people how to make, save, and accumulate money. And of course, guys, I didn't know anything about money. And I'm here to tell you tonight, right now, if you're struggling right now financially, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, if you're out there right now and you're trying to figure out how you're going to pay your next bill, if you're out there right now and your 401k, your retirement plan is going down, 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 and you're trying to figure out how you can stop the bleeding, I'm telling you right now, you need to learn about money. I'm telling you right now, the antidote for you to solve your financial situation is to learn more about money and be able to take control of your finances. This stuff was never taught to us. And so when they said that, my wife, I said, that wasn't me. Those are the 3 words that people use when they stay broke. They said, that's not me. And so I learned I had to take those words out of my vocabulary. I had to make some changes. So I went and sat in a session 20-something years ago to change my life. And I learned about the antidote. I learned about the antidote to poverty, to uncertainty in life. I learned about the antidote, how do you get from being financially illiterate. I learned about how to get educated financially and then go back and teach it to my community. So here we are, guys. I'm going to talk a little bit more about towards the end. But let me kind of get into this real quick on this next slide. I want to talk to you about this. As I go through what I believe is a game changer for the people watching this tonight. As I go through what I believe is a game changer, here's what I want to ask you. Which will be worse? The pain of change. And I told you this seminar tonight is about change. A lot of us, we grew up struggling, and so our children struggle. Because children don't do what you say, they really do what you do. And a lot of us struggle financially. We live paycheck to paycheck. We rob Peter to pay Paul. We see things going down. We've been through crises before, and we continue to go through these things over and over in life. And the reason why we continually, repeatedly go through the pain that we face is because most people are not willing to change. So in life, you're going to face the pain of change, or you're going to face the pain of regret. The pain of change or the pain of regret. And right now, guys, if there's any message that we can get from the economical times that we're in right now, with the market going down so deep right now, with jobs laying off right now, with people staying in their houses, with restaurants shutting down, and all these things are happening, that we need to make some changes. And so that's why I want to commend you for plugging into this broadcast tonight so you can learn more about change. So let's get to the next one right here, guys, and I'm going to tell you. First of all, let me just tell you a little bit about Primerica. We're the largest independent financial service market organization in all of North America. We're listed on the New York Stock Exchange. We've been in business since 1977. More than 5 million lives insured. So if you're anything like me, a credibility of a company is very important. I need to know that that company is solid, that it's a rock, that it's been around for a while. And so you can see from our stats that that's who we are with Primerica. Another thing I want to point out to you guys as we move it, is there are 4 reasons why Primerica is having the success that we're having. Let me give you those 4 reasons real quick. Let's put them all up. There's a high consumer demand for what we do. Most people need what we do. And I grew up in America where most people in our community, guys, we don't know. Most people have 401k plans, they have retirement plans, they don't even understand it. I get people come in my office every day, they're not saving money. They're not invested. They don't understand the market. So there's a demand for what we do. You must learn about money. That's one of the things that we make. Another thing is we have a proven concepts and solutions that makes a difference. What we teach people, it makes a difference. Okay, it makes a difference in our lives. And so we learn how to deal with situations like this. Our distribution system is our strength, and our compensation program is unique and revolutionary. All right? And so those are the things that make the 4 reasons why Primerica is having so much success right now. All right? 78% of our full-time workers are living paycheck to paycheck. Now, here's the thing that's really scary right now. So many people are losing their jobs right now, are being sent home. And these are people that are already living paycheck to paycheck. So you might say, well, how do I avoid this? Is the answer to go get another job? I would tell you tonight, no, that's not the answer. You ever heard the expression, God bless the child that has his own? So a lot of people say, well, when my job is laying off, and my job is cutting back on my hours, well, guess what? You're not alone. 78% of the people out there in America live paycheck to paycheck. You can put all the slides up for me. And then at least 80% of adults out there live with anxiety about the rising cost of care for money and emergencies and income savings. 80% of the people right now, and I would dare say right now, it's probably like 90% of the people that has anxiety right now. Worried about when this coronavirus stuff is going to clear up. How am I going to be able to take care of my family when I'm not getting a check coming in there? When is Trump going to send out that $1,000 that he talked about? He said he's going to give people $1,000. When are we going to get that? There's people out there right now who can't sleep at night because they're so worried about how they're going to be able to make it. And I'm here to tell you right now, the things I'm talking about now, this has to change because I'm telling you, this will pass, but then something else going to come up again. And how long do we want to continue to be in situations like this, totally dependent on the system and our jobs to take care of us? I'm telling you right now, it's time for change. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, people don't plan to fail. Here's our philosophy, guys. You can throw them all up. People don't plan to fail. What we say is people just, they fail to plan. See, I'm going to tell you something right now. Most people weren't prepared for this right here, what's happening right now. Most people don't have money saved. Most people was waiting for their next paycheck. So most people don't plan to fail. They fail to plan. Let's talk about it. See, here's the problem right now. Most people, this is you in the middle. Most people have mortgages, credit cards, installment loans. They have mutual funds. They have a 401k plan, a bank account, or a savings or life insurance. And they have all of these different areas right here we have, but we don't understand them. Most people, if I ask the average person who's watching this broadcast right now, your 401k plan, how does it work? What are you investing into? Are you rebalancing it during these times? See, right now it's time to rebalance. And most people say, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what, I just know they take money out of my check every week, every 2 weeks. I really don't have a clue. Now, do you think that happened by accident, that you don't know how that works, or you think that's some type of conspiracy? My belief is, in my opinion, that it's a conspiracy for certain people not to know how money works so that you'll have to work for money your entire life. See, the goal is not to work for money your whole life. The goal is to have money working for you. But we were never taught that, though. We were never taught that. We were taught to get up and go to work for money every day. Okay? So life insurance and mortgages and all these different things. So, and here's the reason why. So as a result of that, most people don't plan to fail. They fail to plan. Hit the next slide for me. And so what we do is we educate people in these areas. See, here's what's happening in America right now. And this crisis is not going to make it any better. Out of 100 people after working from the age 25 to 65, 54% of the people in the United States are going to be totally dependent on the government or whoever else to take care of them. They're at the mercy of the government to take care of them after working 30, 40 years in the wealthiest country in the world. And that goes for NFL athletes, guys. I played pro ball, and if I didn't learn this stuff, I tell you right now, I'd be in sad shape. If God had never blessed me with this Primerica opportunity, I would be in sad shape right now. Because all that money that we made was gone. See, it doesn't matter how much money you make if you don't know what to do with it. How will you survive? How will you keep it? Okay? 36% going to be back out working again. And this threw a lot of people down. A lot of people was getting ready to retire because this market crashed. Now they can't retire. And then a lot of people got to go back out and get jobs. You ever been to Walmart, Kmart? You see elder senior citizens out there right now. They're punching the stubs on the way out, checking your list, making sure you got what your car you're supposed to. You think these elderly people are there because they don't have nothing to do? They're there because they didn't make enough money, and they got to make enough money to survive. And now they're getting laid off from there. Now how they going to make it? They're already elderly, and they're getting laid off. Okay, so 36% going to be back out working. 5% will be deceased. 4% will be okay, have $1 million or more, and 1% are going to become wealthy. Now, if you're anything like me, I always wonder, why do 95% of the people fail in the wealthiest country in the world? Think about this. In the wealthiest country in the world, why is it that 95% of the people fail financially, and we're one of the wealthiest countries in the world? I mean, that just don't make any sense. We got all this education. We got all these college degrees. Why am I struggling financially? Have you ever stopped to wonder why? Do you ever think about that? Well, let me tell you, here's the reasons why. No financial education. See, they graduate from school, we get an education, we get college degrees in our major, but we really don't have a financial education. So therefore, and I believe, in my humble opinion, that's the reason why it's a conspiracy. I believe that most people won't get this information. That's why we've been so successful at it, because we've been going out for over the last 20 years educating people in our community and bringing that solution to cure the situation that's happening in our community with poverty and people failing and lack. No financial game plan. Guys, I played in the NFL, I played in the Broncos, I played in the Super Bowl, and we always had a game plan. I mean, we would go over that playing frontwards and backwards and sideways and make sure that we knew everything that was going to happen during the course of that game. Every situation, we were prepared for it. See, there wasn't no coronavirus going to sneak up on us. If that coronavirus sneak up, we was going to take it out because we was prepared for it. And I'm telling you something right now, but most people don't have a financial game plan. So when something like this happens, they go under because there's no plan. And so we put plans together, and then they have no financial coach. I don't care how good you are, guys. You need somebody to help you with your finances right now. You need somebody to help you get out of debt right now. You need somebody, and then once you learn how to do this stuff, I believe you have an obligation to go out and help more people, and that's what's been the success of our business. Let's move on to the next slide, please. So, guys, let me give you a prime example. And I don't want to relate this to the times, but I almost have to. Because right now, there's something going on in the United States called the coronavirus. And it's a serious situation, and people are dying all around the world with this. So let me give you a scenario. Here's two people working, they're happy, they're working every day, a husband and wife, and they have a little child. But in our country right now, people are dying every day from this coronavirus. And not only coronavirus, but there's other things. I believe poverty has taken more people out than the coronavirus, in my humble opinion. You know, I believe people get taken out every day by poverty because they can't take care of themselves like they have to. But this is what happened. Two people working, and then all of a sudden, what if this happened? One person get affected, right? So now they both of them make $3,500 a piece every month. They're used to that income. Most people, they married, they're dependent on two incomes. Keep it going, Jackson. And so what happened with that is, 35, now the spouse passed away, okay? Now this lady, now is dependent on taking care of her children and taking care of the house on half the income. And see, this is a situation that's happening all over the place. This is why it's important to make sure, even during these times, you examine your life insurance. You make sure you have the right kind of insurance. This is what we do. We sit down with people. We make sure they have the right protection. We make sure that they're properly covered. We make sure that the family can continue. And it's even more important. Right now, this is something that everybody should be thinking about with the epidemic, with the pandemic that we have going on right now. If you don't have insurance and you're watching this broadcast, I strongly urge you to talk to somebody who invited you on there and say, I need you to look at what I have and make sure that my family will be secure in the event of something were to happen to me. Let's move it on, please, to the next slide. So, we call this the theory of increased responsibility, guys, and it's a very simple thing. We believe in the earlier years, you got to have more protection. See, this is, if you're a person qualified to work with our company, we teach very simple concepts. Very simple. Protect your family in the event of an untimely death. So if you die early, we tell you life works like this. So we market term insurance. You get a lot of coverage in the early years. And you get a policy for like 30, 35 years, and 30 years from now, you don't need as much coverage anymore. So that's why you get term. You can get 2-3 times the amount of coverage for a third of the price. And that way your family can be protected even in the midst of this crisis that's going on right now. Because no one knows what tomorrow will bring. No one knows who's going to be affected by tomorrow. No one knows. No one knows who's going to lose a family member to this tragedy, to this pandemic that's going on right now. No one knows. So that's the reason why it's important to get protected. Why? Because if you have young children, if you have debt or house or mortgage, you say, I don't want to leave my children with nothing. I don't want to pass on that generational curse of poverty to my children. I want to make sure I don't leave them debt. I want to make sure they always have a roof over their head, right? But in 30 years from now, your children are grown, your debt is low, and your mortgage is just about paid up. So you don't need the same amount of coverage 35 years from now as you would need today. It's a simple concept. I know you say, well, that's a no-brainer, right? And then what we do say, so you buy term, you take the difference. What we do is we open up investments. And see, here's what a lot of people say, when you lost me, I don't have no money to invest. We start people out in mutual fund investments, 401k and IRAs, for as little as $25 a month investing into the market. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, I don't want to invest into the market. Have you seen what's been going on in the market right now? The market is down. Let me let you know the secret, guys. When the market is down, that's a great time to get in. See, you want to buy low. It's like the day after Christmas. Companies are going down half price. So you want to buy low and sell high. But what we did, because of lack of knowledge creates fear, when the market is high, we want to get in. As soon as the market is down, we want to get out. You can't time the market. You can't time the market. It's your time in the market that will determine your success. Okay, so we got to look at that. So right now, I'm telling all the young folks who are watching this broadcast, this is a great time to be buying more, investing more into your mutual funds, investing more into your IRAs, investing more into it right now, putting money in, because there's time when the market goes back up, you're going to ride the wave back up. See, most people don't understand this, and it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy to live in the wealthiest country in the world and live paycheck to paycheck. It's a tragedy to live in the wealthiest country in the world and when you work 30, 40 years in the wealthiest country in the world, and then when you retire, you're scared to death. You can't even enjoy it. So we teach people to buy term. You can get a lot more coverage and you invest it different. So 30 years down the road, you don't have as much need for insurance, but now you better have some money saved up so that you can live your best life, so you can do things that you want to do, right? So our philosophy is very simple. If I die too soon, my family taken care of. And if I live long, then I'm taken care of. We cover it both ways. It's a very simple plan, but they try to make it so complicated. Let's go to the next one for me, please, Jackson. So, guys, as I wrap this up tonight, here's what I want to finish up with. And I got 2 more slides I want to go through for you, and I want you to pay close attention because I'm talking about change. Number 1, business over 1, find a need and fill it. If you say, Warren, how can I earn income in these troubled times? When everybody is retreating, how can I charge forward? How can I make progress when everyone else is losing ground? This is the times when you really get wealthy. This is the times when you really take advantage of the system. See, guys, here it is right now. Business 101. If you ever took a business course, Business 101 says this: find a need and fill it. And if you do, what happens when you make money? You'll make money. You got to find a need. Right now, is there a need for what we do? Are people in debt, more debt now than ever before? Right? You have an opportunity. We come in our company, we teach people how to get out of debt, and we get paid for it. People are scared to death about this coronavirus. Insurance sales are up the highest it's been in years, up 29% right now, year to date. Because people are worried, they want to make sure if something happened to me, I want my family protected. Is there a need for what we do? Find a need. Listen, guys, for every crisis, there is an opportunity. Investments. Right now, people are scared to death about retirement. They're losing money. There's a tremendous need. They want somebody just to sit down and have a conversation with them, to talk to them about how they can plan for the future. And you, people who are watching this broadcast, say, Warren, how can I take advantage of this market? How can I invest? I want to learn about mutual funds. I want to learn about investments. I'm tired of working for money. I want to learn to get my money working for me. I've been working for money all my life, and I'm sick and tired of it. This is an opportunity right now, guys. It's a huge opportunity. Are these financial concepts helpful for everyone? Everyone needs to know this, but everybody don't. I wonder why. Can you see why our clients love us? Our clients love us. And can you see why our competition hates us? Our competition hates us because they want us to leave you alone. They don't want us to teach you about money. Because if we teach you about money, then you'll stop making mistakes and they can't continue to take advantage of you. They want you to get off this broadcast and do nothing. Because they can keep on taking advantage of your mom and your sisters and your brother. They can continue to rip you out. Your corporate America, the ones who run the big companies out there, they don't want you to learn about money because if you ever learn about money, you wouldn't have to continue to work for them. You wouldn't ever have to continue to work for them. So guys, these are the things I'll say. This is why our opportunity is so successful. And I'm going to wrap it up with this right here on our last slide. This is called the cash flow quadrant. And there's 4 ways to earn income in the United States of America legally. Okay? 4 ways to earn income. And this is written by an author named Robert Kiyosaki. He also wrote a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is the New York Times bestseller. And what he said in this book, and listen to this carefully, because this is about change. This is about change. And you always want to be making change, guys. The only thing permanent in life is change. So we got to take advantage of it. So think about this. On this side of the equation is where the wealthy make their money. Wealth consists of 2 things, time and money. Wealth just not money. Because what good is it if you have a lot of money and you don't have any time? In my humble opinion, other than my salvation, I strongly believe that Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. And I tell you, other than my salvation, the most powerful thing after that is my time. Because that's how I tell my wife I love her. That's how I let my children know I love them, by the time I'm able to spend with them. And if I'm giving all my time at a job, then hey, that's my life. So wealthy people understand that they want time and money, right? So also the other side is not good. If you got a lot of money, and if you got a lot of time on your hand and no money, that's not good either. So you need both of those to have a quality of life.